Hello, welcome to Frank's School. 77th day of the 5th year, first video. It's actually really the second, but I put something on related to grammar today, but I called that the 71st day. Resurrection, the movie. I'm going on with this movie. This is the 8th video I've devoted to my description of this imaginary movie. I'm mixing things a little bit, but I'll put it all together as a playlist, and it shouldn't be a problem. Well, character number 4, he farts. Now remember, these characters have names, but I'm not giving them the names yet. I suggested I could maybe get comic relief out of him, and I'm very sure that I can. I mean, this is guaranteed. Sometimes I think farting is the original joke of humanity, in the history of humanity. I don't know. People just, they always laugh. Anyway, I can effectively use it, I think, for comic relief. I got thinking about maybe he would have a whoopee cushion as to purposely use that joke, but I don't think so. He doesn't need it. Well, more to be said about that later. But I have a feeling that any time I need to relieve the audience, and I could have him do that to some extent. I also think I'm going to have him look straight into the camera the first time he farts, as if to say, whoops. The first time I ever saw that done in a movie that I remember was in the 1960s movie Tom Jones, where the character Tom Jones looks straight into the camera. Before that, that was always a sort of a no-no. So that could be something he does. Well, now the leitmotifs, the musical leitmotifs, I have figured out that I could reduce them from 11 to 6 plus 1. 11, I think, would be hard for a composer to manage well. I don't know. Another composer later, I'll tell you, I actually spoke to a composer who said 7 is manageable. She said, yeah, that could be done. Because they have to be able to be used together, all 7 eventually. But how I go from 11 down to 6, well, each of the elements, earth, wind, fire, and water, was to have its own leitmotif. But I realized that I can share them with characters. Now I can still have timbres. Those 4 could have the same musical leitmotif but a different timbre. No big surprise that character number 1, wind, since he's breaking wind all the time, wind, he could share that leitmotif with wind. And character number 3, the angry, huge, strong black man that limps, fire, he could share his leitmotif with fire. All right, now going on to the 5th character. I forgot to say this. I would want to, each time, maybe not every time, but go back to the old man's face, a fairly close up, same distance, looking far away, as if to say that he sees these characters approaching, or I would go back to that, and so at some point after he arrives, I would use that as a kind of a transition. And now this 5th character is a woman. She's from Tomar. Now Tomar, I guess I should just say Tomar. In Portugal, that's not the way you say it in Portuguese, but the Hawklings and I were in Tomar. I'm going to say it the Portuguese way. I'm sorry. It's just the way it's hard for me to do the other. We were in Tomar, and there's film footage of it in my course. I'm not right now going to stop to take all the time to find these links for you. But before we got there, when we were looking for advice, what to see in Tomar, there was a woman that she's the one I'm going to use in my mind. She helped us. She was listening from afar, and she realized my Portuguese, I was struggling. But then I think the conversation ended up in Portuguese, I think. Pretty sure. But anyway, she kindly helped because she realized what was going on, and she knew Tomar very well. She was from there. This woman was tall, she was thin, she had long, straight black hair, she was quite young. Matter of fact, I took some teasing after from the Hawklings that I was a ladies' man, and I said, well, she spoke to me first. You know, what a joke, me a ladies' man. But anyway, she was nice, and she walked beautifully. I had thought I had thought that I would use here I should use a shorter, stockier kind of a woman for this character, but in my mind I'm using her. So, some of these I really wish I could find them again. These people. Anyway, back in the movie, she will leave her companion. It'll pick it up where she is leaving her companion, maybe in their garden, at their apartment, or whatever in Tomah. And the companion is a woman. And at this point, I'm thinking that character number 5 should be a lesbian. I think, not sure. But anyway, as it follows, as the movie follows her approach to the aldea, she will go via, Tomah. The reason I chose Tomah in the first place is that there's a really quite famous water wheel, and beautiful, in the center of Tomah, and we've filmed that, and water will be her leitmotif. She will share her leitmotif with water. She might go via Penacova. Well, Penacova is also, I filmed it, very excited about Penacova, Portugal. And they celebrate water there with a water wheel right in the middle of a turnabout, I think you call it. And it's filmed. It's in my course. And I would also have her going via Chosé's Mill. Now, Chosé's Mill is not in Portugal. It's actually in Galicia. And I need to talk to José to find out what's the condition of his mill. But he has a really spectacular site that he owns that has a mill in ruins. I've been there 2 different years. I've actually been there on 3 different days to visit that spectacular site. And I don't know if they've already begun to fix it up a little bit. I need to contact him. But anyway, it's in Galicia. Now, whether or not Falon and Picon would be used, I don't know. I'm just drawing from my own experience. Shirley and I, when we traveled through there, we hiked up and down a series of some 57 water wheels, little water mills. And that there, you could, I mean, if you're enterprising, you could find these things, you could search them and find them in my course, but I'll give you links. Anyway, she could maybe go via that, and she should go definitely via Fraga da Pena. And Fraga da Pena is a water falls, beautiful little site, where there's some mills there as well. But that would give the idea of climbing, and that would bring her into the area of the Aldeia do Xisto. That's near Benfeito, which is near Arganil in Portugal. All right, she shares the leitmotif with water. Now, what should the timbre be? A harp? You know, what's like water? But if it's her, with her, the timbre should probably be a folk harp. Very simple. But a concert harp could also be available for the wind. All right, I'm going on. Bye for now.